Amazing. And hello, South Florida. Welcome to another live edition of the Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate and America's longest running daily radio show, all about the topic of real estate. My name is Eric Willner, and I'm your host. And we are here live Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week. That's 5 p.m. in the afternoon. That's Eastern time. And we're on 5 different channels. If you want to find us on the AM station, you can find us at AM 1470, our original station where this show all started. On the FM dial at FM 95.3 and 96.9, there on the FM dial. Now, on either one, you can check us out on one of the radio apps like the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, the radio.com app, and, well, even WWNN has their own app. But whichever app it is, just search for WWNN Money Talk Radio. Come on at 5 o'clock, 1470 if they're looking for a number, and you'll find the Real Estate Show here 5 days a week, 5 p.m., one of those 5 ways. Now, on top of that, you can also stream our show live on your computer. Just go to automaticlandlord.com. That's our website, automaticlandlord.com. Go to the top of the page there, and there you can click on the Real Estate Show. It'll be a drop down. It'll allow you to select either listen live if you're there at 5, or you can listen to any one of the previous shows. Just look at the different dates, and on those dates, you'll see a link that you can listen to the show in its entirety on demand. In fact, you can even download the podcast version over there at automaticlandlord.com as well. And so leave us a comment, ask us a question, or just come by and chill out and listen to a little bit of real estate. Get your daily dose of vitamin real estate, if you will. And finally, the 5th way, and not only can you hear us, but you can watch us on our Facebook Live page, as I'm broadcasting right now on our Facebook Live. If you have a Facebook page, then all you have to do is search for the word and just put it all together as if it was one word, The Real Estate Show. Or if you don't have one, just go to facebook.com/ and again, type the words straight through, The Real Estate Show. Take you right there, and you'll catch the latest edition of the Real Estate Show. We got a really good show for you today. As you know, Thursdays is our ATM edition. We're almost there. We're almost there to our TGIF edition, which we have tomorrow. Another great show for you. On our ATM edition, we always talk about the money, and we always talk about the money as it applies to real estate, and we also talk to it as it applies to the theme. And this week we were talking about the number of reasons why I like to invest locally. Another number of reasons why I recommend a brand new real estate investor invests locally first, so that they can get a better feeling. They could be a little bit more hands-on, and it's a lot easier when things don't go your way. And so each day of the week, on Monday through Friday, our Monday's on a mission. We set the agenda, we give out the theme, and we kind of talk of what our mission is for the week. Tuesdays are tools, tips, and techniques, and we get into some of the actual techniques or tools, whatever it is that we do. But it's really more where we go from what's the concept of the week to what can you do this week to improve and enhance your real estate. After all, our mission here on the Real Estate Show is to enable, educate, and empower more people to have a piece of the American dream. And that's what we've been doing here on the air for 22 consecutive years, through good times and through bad times, through recessions, depressions, and pandemics. The Real Estate Show has literally been through it all. Who'd have thunk that I'd ever be able to say that as we started out in real estate a mere 30 years ago. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and of course, following through the Wednesday show is our midweek report. We talked about yesterday the national eviction moratorium, which now there is a ban a ban lifted, and now it's back in court because now they're appealing the lifting of the ban on the eviction. So that it's kind of like you can't not kick somebody out of their property if you follow that logic, because there's a ban on evictions, right? So it means you cannot evict, and then they countered so that you can evict, and then now they're going back to try to put the ban on the eviction because the argument, of course, is that simply we're not ready for it yet, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people kind of caught in the middle. There are the legitimately, you know, uh, the tenants who have a legitimate hardship as a result of the economy, of the COVID, and everything else. There are those that would probably be having a hardship regardless of a pandemic, and in normal times there would have to be other solutions. I invite anybody who's having a problem right now with the pandemic, with their rent payments, call us now, because we have a lot of information, a lot of good resources as well. If you've been listening to our radio show over the week, we give out a lot of these resources, and we make those available. Put our 30 plus years of experience to work in trying to help you to make the best of whatever the situation is. If you can stay, let's figure out the way to propose and to present that to the lenders so that you can stay. Now, this is a business decision for the banks. Now, right now, the banks their hands are tied as to what they can do. But once the moratoriums are lifted, and it could be literally any day now, I had been predicting that it definitely will be within the next 3 to 6 months. I don't think it's going to be prolonged. In fact, I also sort of shared the observation that when the moratorium was first put into place, it was put into place for 3 months, right? It was a 90-day thing. And then it was extended for 6 months. And then it was extended for another 6 months. And then it was back to 3 months. And then the most recent extension was for only 2 months. So do you kind of get the drift of what's going on? Sometimes you have to take a step back and take a look at the forest and not just the individual trees. And here is where you start to get an indication that it's not, and it never was a matter of if those moratoriums would be lifted. It's a matter of when, and how can we best create sort of that soft landing for everyone out there. So that was a big topic for our Thursday edition. We talked about a lot of the statistics. All of these shows, all by themselves, could they obviously fill up more than enough time. In fact, frequently I can't even finish everything that I want to share here on the radio, which is why two things happen. Number one, we have to have a whole week on a topic, and that's why I figured that by looking at things from a different perspective, from the applicable on Tuesday to the news on Wednesday to the money aspect of it on Thursdays, which of course brings us to today's show here about investing locally, and for starters, of course, I always say you want to have your own home, and we continue to be helping right now first-time home buyers raise down payments. If they don't have it, we have down payment assistance. In fact, I'm going to give out our text line for the if you want to contact us about assistance on down payment assistance. All you have to do is text DPA to 561-861-2366. That's 561-861-2366. And then we'll contact with you depending on where you're calling, because we have different reports for different states, different programs. Even at the county and city level, there are different resources. If you're a first-time home buyer, and so if you have a small down payment, if you have no credit, then text the word credit. And it doesn't matter if you have bad credit; it's just as bad, or maybe even worse, in fact, if you have no credit. Today, I was just helping a substantial real estate investor who was having a challenge with his credit, not because he doesn't have credit, but the credit that he has is mostly off the books. So his personal mortgage, for example, is a private loan. And the private loan, most people who self-finance their own homes, they do not offer, they don't report to the credit bureau. So all of those payments, and he's been paying for 5 years like clockwork on his private mortgage, and he has no credit to show for it. And when he heard our radio show, he contacted me and he said, "Listen, I hear you're doing this for people who have a good rent history. What about if I have private mortgage history? Eric, can you help me?" And the answer is yes. So if you're interested in that, learning more about that, type the word credit and text it to 561 right now, 561-861-2366. Text the word credit. And so far I've given out DPA for down payment assistance, and we got great stuff there. Credit for if you're needing to build credit that doesn't exist, document payments that you didn't that don't get documented to the credit bureaus, and so now let's talk a little bit about the money, right? Let's talk about the money. And I did a piece a few months ago talking about the difference in net worth between a homeowner and a renter. And it is amazing how big of a difference it really is. Number one, the difference was that the average net worth of a renter was something, it was in the single digits. It was like $7,000-8,000, the net worth. For a homeowner, it was more like $208,000, and that was talking about those particular categories. Well, in a recent article that I was just reading, and it came from I believe it was CNBC, the average net worth of North Americans, and they were talking about those age 65 to 74. Now, of course, that's important, right? That's very important because that's retirement age. So by that time, you would think you would have $1 million. Your all your stress and your worries about money are behind you. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, the net worth tends to increase with age. That's good. That's true. But it tells me that people are starting too late. Now, it's never too late to start, but you could start a lot earlier. Remember my conversation a few weeks ago talking about the guaranteed millionaires program for college grads. If you're a college grad, you followed my guaranteed millionaire real estate investment program, you would retire a millionaire regardless of whether you were a minimum wage employee or an executive. Of course, it only gets better. But what I'm saying is that you follow this, and this is not one of those gimmicky courses. All I did was I set a path and a habit of buying one house every 5 years. Now, I guarantee you that if you want to, there's not a person out there, because I can help you with the down payment, I can help you with the credit, and I can help you to find a house that would accept it. You could buy one house every 5 years. And if every 5 years you bought a house, and then whether you stayed in the first house or you just, you moved into that house, then lived there for 5 years, rented it out, bought another one, rented it out, bought another one, rented it out, bought another one. And at the end of a 40-year career, you would have about 10 houses. You would have several of them, because remember, 40 years now of the 30-year mortgage, you'd be paying off your third mortgage by then. You would have 3 free and clear properties. The income on those properties would be able to set you free for life. It would not only set you free for life, but it would far surpass any Social Security or any of the other pensions. It's better than a 401k. And I could show you how to do it that way. And there's another little twist in there. And then the equity that you have in there would be over $1 million. And then there's a whole process of liquidating. It's a really neat step-by-step process. I offered at that time to send out the reports. Those of you who read the report understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's not a gimmicky pie in the sky thing. It's just a very disciplined and methodical way of doing it. So back to my article, because this is where this ought to be a little bit of a wake-up call. In fact, before I get into the numbers of my article, I noticed that we're a little bit past our break. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, hear a few words from our sponsors. When we come back, I'll dive into these. There's some very eye-opening numbers. I'll make some editorial comments about this as well. We're on the About the Money edition of the Real Estate Show here on this Thursday. Don't touch that dial. It's good stuff. My name is Eric Willner, and we will be right back. Time just flies when you're having fun. Maria, how are you? Maria's in the house. Felipe is in the house. Hey, Felipe, how are you? Long time no speak, right? Since yesterday. It was just a busy nonstop day. And what it was also really neat is that this weekend we have the Air and Sea Show here in South Florida. And I was watching them practice. And the Air and Sea Show is very close to where I live. Hey, Earl. And the planes were flying literally over the house, shaking the house, and it was just the sound. So we went out back and we're seeing the Blue Angels fly over. I mean, they were flying so close you could read the letters on the side of the plane, and you can just imagine how loud that was. But it was just awesome. It makes you feel all patriotic inside when you see the power and the neat machines that are flying, and then they're doing their acrobatics in the air over the ocean. So today, and they'll be doing it again tomorrow. So we'll get another sort of a free preview show just because of where we live here near the beach. And welcome back. For those of you just joining us here on the Real Estate Show, my name is Eric Willner. I am your host. And just for those of you just joining us, we are here 5 days a week. So if this is your first time listening to the show, welcome. Welcome, and bookmark where you are, whether you found us here on the AM 1470 station here in South Florida, on the FM 95.3, 96.9. If you happen to be channel surfing on your app, on your phone, the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, the radio.com app, and or even the WWNN app. So either one of those, just search for WWNN Money Talk Radio. It's all part of the Money Talk Radio network that we're on here. We're here 5 days a week, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are here 5 different ways, so including the AM, the FM, the apps, the website, automaticlandlord.com, and, of course, live on Facebook at our Facebook fan page, The Real Estate Show. So today, on the ATM edition of the show, we were talking about some of the benchmarks, or where we're going. We're talking about how to assure yourself to be able to retire in comfort and financial security. But statistics show that most people don't do that or aren't doing that. Every 3 years, the Federal Reserve Board issues a survey of consumer finances to share information about family net worth and income all over the United States. And so I'm looking here at the numbers. The most recent report released just a couple months ago used data collected in the year prior, of course, shows the median U.S. household net worth. And by the way, this is pre-pandemic, these numbers, okay? So we might have taken a step back in some areas, but the median U.S. net worth, okay, now let me just define that to make sure you get where I'm coming from. The median is the midpoint. That means half of the statistics are below this number and half of the statistics are above. So half of the United States is at or below $121,000, $121,700. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is not retirement money. $121,000 won't buy you a house. $121,000 won't leave you in the lap of luxury or much left over to enjoy your golden years. Luckily, when they narrow it down by age groups, okay, so that's everybody, 121,000. Think about that. Are you doing better or worse than the median household net worth in this country? If you're above 121, good for you. Depending, and I'm not going to give you an A grade for that because it depends on your age. It's nearly double that as you get older. In fact, when you're age 65, hopefully you're retired by then, but between age 65 and 74, it's more than double that. According to the federal data, the median net worth for Americans in their late 60s and early 70s is 266. Call it $250,000. So an eighth of a million is the median. $250,000 for people 65 to 70, in low 70s. And what's interesting, and this is why the mean is so important, because that's where half the numbers fall. It would be the biggest part of the bell-shaped curve. But the average net worth for that age group is 1.2 million. Now we're talking, right? But the average is that average number. Why? Because there's some people who are so much bigger than that they bring the average up, because half of America is 266,000 or less at age 65 and above. And that's an important thing to realize. While 266,000 may seem like a lot of money at first, people in their 60s usually start tapping their net worth, their savings, to cover living expenses. Remember, your medical expenses don't get cheaper. Your living expenses are your living expenses, and you don't want to be downsizing and and scrimping and having to budget hard in your golden years. So it's important to understand how net worth works, and how it relates to living on a fixed income. Now, if you listen to the real estate show, and more importantly, if you apply what you listen to on the real estate show, you would not be in this category. In fact, I even told you before that there's a solid plan that I published that shows that if a college age person or any graduate, in fact, whether it's high school and you skip college, wouldn't matter whether you went to college and didn't matter what your career was, you could still be assured of retiring as a millionaire by following my real estate plan on how to retire as a millionaire. Now, it is very conservative. It is very easy to implement. And if anybody wants help in doing that, all you have to do is let us know. Now, you can contact us on our website at automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. You can text us on our real estate show smart line, which is 561-861-2366. Now you have to text a specific number. I mean a specific word. And right now, what I'm going to say for that would be investor. Text the word investor if you want to figure out how to retire the right way, the safe way, and the solid way in real estate. You know our motto, right? The safe and simple approach to investment real estate. So I want to, in the remaining time that we have, I want to share a couple of house net worth by age. Less than 35 years old, the median net worth is 13,900. Call it 14,000. If you're under 35, that's the median net worth. 35 to 44, 91,000. How are you doing out there? Then when you get to 45 to 54, now you're approaching retirement. Now this is when the rubber hits the road, and yet the number is only $168,000. It's hardly what I would call a solid foundation for retirement. From 65 to 74, as I mentioned before, 266,000. And when you get to 75 and above, it starts to drop again. So, of course, by then they're liquidating their net worth. We can talk a little bit more about what net worth considerations are, maybe in our show tomorrow. But this is why I was starting the week here talking about investing locally in real estate. It's easy, the safe and simple approach to investment real estate. If you want to learn more, text the word investor to 561 861 2366, or simply give us a call on our toll-free number at 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. I'll be happy to talk to you about it and find out whether real estate might be for you. Anyway, that's it for today. The music is in. I'm on my way out. I'll be back again, same place, same time tomorrow. Until then, drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Bye-bye. You shall. Thank you very much. And that makes that a wrap. Hey, Brian.